I've been making music for a while, and during my last therapy session, I realized I don't want to be considered a singer anymore. Growing up, I was never the kid who got a guitar for his birthday or took singing lessons or sang in front of my family. I come from a very low key city in Brazil, and I grew up in a neighborhood that I wasn't used to playing outside with other kids, and I would only socialize with friends in school, literally. My name is Bonatto. I'm a Brazilian artist based in Chicago, and since I started my new album inspired by the ocean, my passion for art started to make even more sense. And today I'm sharing a very recent experience I had in this process of crafting the album's story. My parents would work most of the day, so I learned how to entertain myself alone. So I had to use my creativity really often, literally every single day. And I got exposed to the media, to music, to art. I consumed so much international influence that I started to believe that I was raised to be, a superstar more than an ordinary person, which now I consider an illusion that keeps the wheel spinning, but we won't get into that. Because the point of this video is I put out music everywhere. I filmed music videos. I sang on the stage, but I still feel like I'm lying to myself when I call myself a singer. I read about imposter syndrome before, but I don't really know how to elaborate because I didn't do enough research. I don't think this is a imposter syndrome matter, but I would love to hear in the comments if you have anything to say about that. But you might understand what I'm trying to say until the end of the video. So wait a second. I don't know why, but I feel like people who are born to sing, they go through a really hard grind to make this career happen. And when I think about that grind, like vocal warm-ups and performing most days of the week, and compare that to my actual routine, like I don't have the same habits. Is it even fair to consider myself a singer? But I am constantly working on this project, my new album, and the entire environment I'm building. I go back and forth. Am I more of a creative director? Am I more of a singer? Even though I wear all of the hats, I'm not gonna lie, like what I feel more satisfied about is when I accomplish a visual. I do love making the song. I do, love hearing the final product, but coming from the idea for the song, the 10-second hook I got to the final song, it's a really long process and it's really exhaustive. But when I compare that to the visuals, for example, like if I have a blank page, it's so much easier to actually get to the final result. And to do that, I am sticking to healthy habits. I do research on visuals, on producing, anything related to that, like marketing, but I still feel like my singing, the actual instrument of the entire thing, it's not strong enough. And also like, but now that I think about it, I had a relationship that the person, they would always make sure that I'm not a singer, because here and there I would mention like, oh, I would love to be a singer, like I want to be a singer, and they would be like, oh, you can't be a singer. I just thought about it as I'm filming this. I just thought about it. So maybe that's related to this imposter syndrome, because I do feel like this is imposter syndrome, because I started the video really certain that like, no, I'm not a singer anymore, I'm more of a creative director. I make the music to complement the visual aspect. But now I'm like, is that true? Not so sure. Let's be honest, no one really cares, right? Like so no one really knows the definition of being a singer. You can sing, you're a singer. Is that what's entitled? Can everyone sing? It's like Ratatouille. Can everyone cook? Can really anyone cook? So I don't know. It's one of those questions that we don't really have an answer. But honestly, to me, that's entertainment. It's a distraction. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's necessary. And at the end of the day, I love to entertain, to stimulate a feeling, a thought, a conversation about something that isn't talked about. So right now, it's becoming more than like, am I a singer or not? I also didn't accomplish a lot of things, so it's hard to, put that title on myself when I actually haven't seen any results for the effort that I'm putting into making music and staying true to myself. So it's a really rough path, because apparently for a long time we don't get the sweet validation of creating art. We don't get the flowers as soon as we start, so it takes a while to start collecting the results. But not only as a singer, I'm just saying, like, from my own perspective. So at my last therapy session, she asked me a very simple question. She was like, why don't you invest in photography? And for those who are new, I'm also a photographer, and I'm very self-conscious about pursuing different things at the same time, which makes me feel unworthy of considering myself a singer, a music professional. There's also the fact that I don't have a degree. I don't have like a school validation. Like, I don't have a piece of paper, or I don't have technical knowledge for music. I just make what sounds right to me. So it's a lot of things at once, right? I started really late to sing and to actually songwrite. Didn't grow up with the singer mentality. Have not been seeing the results for the craft. The only thing that fuels this passion is the love for creating. So it's genuine because I like it. Because if it wasn't for that, like, everything else would be, like, I wouldn't be doing this at all. So I feel like at the end of the day, I know what I'm doing. Anyway, so she asked me, why don't you invest in photography? And I told her, but I do. I do invest in photography. I do that to make money so I can invest on music. And then I had this like crazy epiphany. I was like, I realized that I make music because I love photography so much that I think it can't be forgotten so quickly. And with a song, I can kind of like complement the photos and the visuals I create. It's another chance for the body itself, for the brain to experience the magic of creativity. Like, when I transformed that idea, like something that was inside my brain, like it was inexistent, you couldn't touch, you couldn't hear, you couldn't feel, only I could, and I transformed that into a physical form. Like, how insane is that? So I feel like that's my passion, and when people like appreciate that and they're like, oh my god, this is so cool, when they feel something like this joy inside, that return they give me, that's what brings me joy. So am I narcissistic for feeling like that? I don't know. I feel like we all like to be appreciated for the things that we can do. So after that, I started to accept the fact that right now I'm more of a visual artist who makes music, who can't afford music videos yet, but with photography mostly because it's easier to manipulate the images and everything. Yeah, I'm a visual artist who makes music, or a music artist who takes pictures. I like that one, but whatever works best. But anyway, I am a horrible advice giver, because in my head, no one really follows advice. Or maybe I don't follow advice and I'm projecting into you, saying that you don't. Maybe you do. Anyway, but if you're feeling lost, maybe it's because you're forcing yourself to chase something that you might not want to be right now. Once you go to therapy, and learn how to let that go, I feel like things slowly start getting into place and you feel so much better. Again, it's easier said than done. That's why no one follows advice, but something to reflect. If you have a career that you're not so sure about it anymore, if you have a relationship that you don't feel like it's fulfilling you anymore. Yeah, did that make sense? I don't know. I was just trying to be cool, but I'm not a guru. But anyway, I'm Bonatto, and I have new music and new photos coming in January. So if you watch to here, we're like this. Bye.